All right, 97.7 Outlaw Radio FM listeners, we are live in full effect right here, right now. We got San Diego, California's own. We got Dub Fuego right here, live on the line, calling in from the 619. How you doing this evening?
Yay! Blessed, brother. Thank you. Thank you. I'm doing well, feeling well, feeling healthy, grateful. You know what I mean?
I gotta say, man, that's blessed, man. That's blessed to hear, man. You know, this past year and a half has just been freaking crazy for everybody, man, worldwide. I gotta ask you, man, and I don't want to make this entire interview about COVID and everything like that because we hear that crap enough on the news. But I just want to ask, man, what's the situation actually out where you are out in the 619?
And never apologize for that, man, because that's so current and it's relevant. It's where we're at. It's what we've been dealing with. So it definitely is a big part of what our everyday is, whether we want to, acknowledge that or not. um, Everything here has been good, man. I know me and mine have been healthy and well, and I'm grateful for that. I've been able to work the entire time. I'm essential. My job is considered essential, so I'm grateful for that. Um, but yeah, here in Southern California, things haven't been, I know we looked bad and our numbers were high for a bit, but we've been cool, man. Everybody I know has been able to be healthy. I know a couple people who did get COVID, and they were able to beat it, and I know some people who weren't. And so it's been a little bit of everything. And again, just grateful to be here, man. Another day, be healthy, well. But currently in San Diego, there's certain things starting to open up. I am actually, being not only an artist here, but I also perform and entertain at certain venues and casinos and things like that. So that work has been super slow, but it's crazy because within the last month, it's already double what it's been. So it's actually starting to pick up. I think they're projecting June 1st or something of that nature for things to really start opening back up. But so far, this past month has actually been good. Like I said, our numbers have dropped down significantly, and they're actually opening more, open air bar areas and entertainment areas, which is where we've been able to thrive a bit. It's looking good, man. Things are coming back. Of course, people wearing masks. I think that's going to be a part of the new normal, if we can all accept that a little bit. I don't think that it's a big deal. I don't mind wearing it in the grocery store when there's a bunch of random people walking around sneezing, coughing, and spitting all over the place. So I don't mind that part of it. But obviously, if I'm around my folks, hey, man, we're going to do what we're going to do. But, it's been cool out here.
I gotta say, first and foremost, man, before we dive into this, I'm super jealous, bro. We're actually in a third wave, in a state of emergency lockdown, and we just had the military deployed as well. So I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I really wish I could trade places with you right now. Not only enjoy the beach, but also be able to enjoy, by the sounds of it, a relatively normal reality.
And we were there. They were ready. I know certain parts of California, central, southern California, they were starting to put, the National Guard and other people kind of on the ready. LA was a big spot. LA was like a no-go, and there was a time there where people were coming down from like southern LA, like Orange County. People were coming down to San Diego to like hang out for the weekend when we were still doing well. And I'm talking about well-ish. That was probably like right after maybe July or August, which sounds weird, right? Because I was like smack dab in the middle of it. But there was a point here where we were considered not a threat in that earlier phase of it. And then after a certain point, it was just like, yeah, it's like it was, really, that second wave was significant for us. So we've been in that position where we can't do anything. It's the mix. Everybody has a mix of feelings and opinions, and you hear it in the music, you hear it in your everyday walk around, and who you hear talking in the stores and whatnot. But all in all, I can say a good amount of the people were scared, man. It's a scary thing, and we should all be very vigilant about taking care of our own and our bubble. You know what I mean? I think that that's important to make sure that you're doing the things essential to keep your body healthy, which, in these times, eating healthy, putting, things that boost your immune system and boost your body's ability to regenerate, those things are very important, and I think that's what a lot of the people that I know did. And, I can't say that it works or doesn't work, but I'm grateful to be here, man. Grateful to be here. And anything hey, man, shout out to y'all, man. Anything y'all need help, y'all need something sent to you, especially you, DJ. You need something, holla at me. After this, hey, I'm here, man, because like I said, we were there. And we know how tough it was, and we're trying to move past it. A lot of people didn't do much of anything for a very long time. So.
But also, man, I want to dive right into this, man. I want to take you back to when times were much more simpler, man, especially in your life as well, man. I want to take you back to the very beginning when you actually started in the music industry. But I have to ask you, man, what actually inspired and sparked the amazing career of Dub Fuego?
Man, honestly, I just really loved music. I've always loved music, and I, being brought up in a Christian home and being raised in church, I did a lot of my music there. So after high school, I go to college and get to do some music in one of the junior colleges here, and that was something that kind of put me in a place like, man, after this, what is there, And I started working with some jazz and some I'm thinking like soul music, like blues, like old blues music. I linked up with this ridiculous piano player, Raphael Sounding, man, crazy guy. Anyways, we wind up playing. I play all these jazz gigs and play a bunch of blues gigs, and kind of see like, man, even though I'm creating my own music and I'm creating hip hop, I was rapping and working with some cats here in San Diego that still do work. AKC Sneros is one of the guys I linked up with earlier. And that guy, getting with him, I was doing my creative thing and making music on this end and doing all kinds of stuff. But then I also learned that the gigging side and cover side of it here in San Diego was a big draw. So that really is what put me kind of on the path to do both and be able to gratefully, be sustained in both and stay relevant in both.
But also as well, man, as you already know, we got connected through Trey Boogie, which is actually 97.7 Outlaw Radio FM's one of our sponsors. So I gotta ask you, man, like, how did yourself and Trey get connected? Because he is such a phenomenal individual, especially in the music industry as well, man. He's really trying to help to get San Diego on the map.
Yes, and he's been doing it for years. Him and I went to the same high school. And I knew of him and his cohorts, and the cats that he came up with, and through one of my brothers, Y. Drayster, shout out to 65 Foot Music. Through my brother Y. Drayster, that's how I was connected and linked with Trey Boogie. And me and Trey Boogie, obviously he's a big part of the movement here in San Diego, so he's always at every big show. So I wound up running into him at a show. I believe it was Twister show. Our folks, J.A. Youngwealth and Cognac were opening. So we were both there. And from that point, man, we already knew about each other and were already in communication. We had linked up to do a collab with one of his artists, A.D. Walker. Also with a young cat named Asthmatic. And so we linked up with a couple different artists and did some collabs. And, we always worked together. We was always on the phone, any type of industry advice or, business advice as far as, or, marketing type of things, I would go to him as well. I talked to Dre most of the time, and then it would always be a good lookout to link up and just holler at Trey because we're connected and he can just see a lot of places down here. So, that we always had that connection. But that day me and him kicked it at that event, man. We've been linked ever since, for real. So that's folks, man, big time.
And when you mentioned collaboration, actually, a few moments ago, man, and one collaboration, man, that you did that was absolutely huge for any hip hop artist within music, man, is you actually did a track with the legendary West Coast phenomenon Spice One. And I have to ask you, how did yourself and Spice One actually get connected, man? And what was it like just working with Spice?
Man, that was definitely one of those experiences where you know you're dealing with a veteran. You know, you knew you was dealing with a god, you know, West Coast rap legend. So um, we linked up with my boy Sanaj G, who, if you haven't talked to yet, you need to tap in with Sanaj G. He is a maniac. He's been working for years, and he's just starting to like dump stuff on folks. So he's gonna have a lot of good material for people to be on. A lot of great albums, great tracks. But Sanaj G was linked with him through a close relative of his. Spice just happened to be in San Diego, and it was like it was a call from Sanaj. Hey, I got Spice here, which we had kind of briefly talked, and I knew that he was linked with him the way he was, and he was just like, yeah. You're going to meet me at this studio. We're going to be there. We're going to do the track. And that was it. And I rolled up. I got there. They was already there. And I came in as Spice was doing his verse for the track. Boss Lean, Bay Area, boss writer. I was like, oh, my God. So it was dope to be in the studio with him. And, you know, I wrote the hook there and asked him, sang it for him. He was like, oh, yeah. And everybody was on board, and it was a go-go.
And I gotta say as well, man, I had the opportunity to interview Spice One, and I gotta say, man, like if you watch some of his videos, he seems kind of scary, you know what I mean? But just being able to chop it up with him, man, he's actually a really cool individual. Me personally, I just wouldn't piss him off, you know what I mean? Because he most definitely will do some damage. But at the end of the day, man, he is a phenomenal individual and definitely a really cool guy to chop it up with.
Yeah, man, he's an OG. That's what you got to remember about these OGs. They're OGs to us. We revere them. We look at them as what they are to us, which is legends, mentors. You know, it's a good thing to be a little bit scared of the people that put you on, because that's respect sometimes. You know, that's how the old school sees respect. So, hey, he's definitely a man of great stature. You don't want to cross that man in the alley. But he is one of the coolest cats I've gotten to work with at that level. So for sure.
And also, man, you were actually a member of the hip hop group titled the Legacy Pack. Man, I was wondering if you could tell our listeners a bit more about that. And of course, how did you yourself get connected with the other members?
So Legacy Pack. So this is, you know what's crazy? You just asked the golden question that nobody knows the answer to but me and the other member. Like, I met the rapper Barshawn. If you're not tapped in with Barshawn, you gotta tap in. Barshawn's a Chicago rapper in Dago. He's lived in Mexico. He's got an awesome story. You would love that guy, man. He's a beast on the mic. Me and him are actually linked, working on another project again, which is like the Legacy Path. That's a whole nother story. We can talk about that for a whole. Well, actually, this is part of it. Yeah, we're gonna talk about it. So at the same studio, I recorded with Spice One and my brother Sanaj G. I go back in to do something else, and this is after Spice was there. I go back in to do something else for Sanaj again at that same studio, and this is Tyran Mayberry over here in San Diego, who's gotten the chance to record some legends. And Bar was there. Bar heard my stuff. Bar heard me, heard that hook, and wanted me to work with him. So I wound up doing like 3 tracks with Bar. And then that same year, I had another project called The Academics, and that was like a hip hop jazz, like Latin groovy thing that I did here in the Dago for like a year or two. And Bar would come and sit and rap with us. And so me and Bar was like, hey man, you know, he had this group. He had been using Legacy for a while. He was running a tackle football league here called Legacy. And so he wanted to start a band. He was like, man, y'all came and rock with your band, and you know, I know you got the thing. He's like, hey man, if I get some musicians together, would you be down to start like a roots type of thing, like. And I said, bruh, I'm so down. So we went through a lot of musicians, some legendary cats. My boy, I gotta think of his name, Adrian, man. My boy Adrian, who actually toured with POD. Odds is what we call him. I think Odzilla. So Odds, he toured with POD, and he was a crazy bass player. So he brought some really awesome players our way. Jake Major, ridiculous drummer. So we got to work with some legendary San Diego musicians, and then we kind of wanted to cultivate our own sound. And as musicians go, like especially gigging musicians, they kind of like, hey, they move, they got a lot of things going on. It depends on them, which is cool because they got to make their money. It's a big deal. You can never get mad at a gigging musician for taking a high paying gig or moving around. It just is what it is. Everybody got to get their money. So we wound up linking with some very talented musicians. Damian Drury and Coca Bryan. We got Tim Malley, and we had a couple other musicians who joined us. Chris Lopez, bunch of cats. Anyways, here in Dago that do a lot of different kinds of music and different DJs and whatnot. And we tried a bunch of different designs, but we wound up with the five of us: me, Bar, Tim, Coca, Damian. And that was the legacy pack. And, we played for a lot of big names. We opened up for Nipsey Hussle. We opened up for Talib Kweli. We opened up for Mos Def, at the time Yasin Bey. We've been in the same show, the same lineup with E40. Every time a big name came to San Diego, we opened for them. That was at the 4th and B. The 4th and B, which closed down. It's no longer around. And we were a part of a entertainment company. We were tight knit with them, and they used to throw all the hip hop shows back in the day. So that was a big, not necessarily back in the day, but 10 years ago or so. And so we got to be on every big deal. We opened for we were the opening act for most of the guys that came through here in San Diego. We went on tour, like a West Coast tour. We went up here, San Diego, Vegas, Park City, Boise, Seattle, Portland, the best SF, and then we played LA and Dago. Like our last day, we played in Dago to do a Battle of the Bands. We actually won. We wound up playing at the Reader Festival. The Reader's a magazine they have here. And we did the festival there. And then we also played that night after we did the Battle of the Bands. We went back to L.A., played in Santa Monica. Yeah, man, crazy. We had a lot of fun with that band. And then we wind up breaking up because the drummer's mother got really sick and he had to take care of her. We all supported him, and we kind of had to all sit back. We tried some session drummers, but anybody who knows and plays, once you build a sound, it's harder to get that same sound from a session or even picking somebody else up. And we wound up kind of doing our own thing, and that kind of led me back into doing a lot more cover band stuff and getting more gigs and working in the casino circuit and going out of town to do gigs with the Evidence Band. And I had a band called Plug Play, And so that was that time. And luckily, Damien, the drummer, he's back in town. And, we've been getting together and working on music again. So beware. It won't be the legacy pack, but that project, that vibe, that's coming back. That's coming back too. So good stuff, man. I'm glad you did your research. That's dope.
Yeah, man, I appreciate that, man. You know what I mean? I gotta say, myself and my team, man, we most definitely make sure we put together some phenomenal interviews, man. Research is key, in my personal opinion, when it does come to an interview.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's without a doubt.
But also, man, May 22nd, 2020, you actually dropped the project Poppin'. I was wondering, man, what's the story and inspiration behind that phenomenal project? And of course, where can our listeners actually snag ourselves a copy of that project today?
So, Poppin' is a single which was followed up by you, and then I will have a project for the listeners this summer. I'm gonna have and Poppin and you will be on that project. So that project's coming this summer. Please believe. Stay tuned. You can tap in with me at Fuego on IG, and I'll be announcing them as they come. So I'll be dropping it all within this next like 3-4 months. It's going down, man. It's going down. So, but Poppin, man, the inspiration for Poppin was, I was taking long drives from Dago to Long Beach to see my lady. She had moved down from the Bay Area to Long Beach, or Irvine, Irvine. And so I was taking these long drives to go see her and visit her and go kick it. And every time I would drive, you take a left when you're driving up the 5 from San Diego, and you pass, Oceanside, you get to like San Onofre, and this and all that stuff up there. But as you pass that stuff, you see the coastline the whole time, and you can see the horizon. And so there were plenty of drives where I had don't do this if you can't do it, or youngsters don't do it. But I would smoke a blunt or something on the way up, or I'd be high or whatever on the way up, and I would just be chilling and listening to my music or whatever I was working on at the time, and just be watching the sunset as I drove up. So Poppin is literally inspired from those many drives that I did, and I feel like it had that vibe like that, like it's a long drive, but the sunset, just a real vibey little bop, So that's Poppin, man. That's one of my faves, of course. That's why it's out there. Couldn't help it. And then in September, I dropped You, which obviously is another ode to the love of my life and loves in my life. The love of my little boy, my daughter. Is definitely geared to the family, obviously for my lady. But You is just one of those feel good, hey man, hey, it's you, everything, hey, you always checking in, and I think it pertains, my uncle Larry had made a good point. He was like, yo, that song could be for your child too, my son actually thinks it's for him, but it's kind of geared to just that person, when you love your people and you wanna make sure they're good. Hey man, are you good? You want something to eat? How was your day? What's going on? You know what I mean? And that's really, you can see anybody you love. You is for anybody you care about, because I know that people have people that they care about, and I think that's really where the heart of that song comes from. You just really, hey, it's you, man. It's about you. Hey, yeah, I'm good, but what do you need? What can I do for you? What can I do to help? And that's something that I've always been about. You know what I mean? With the people I love and the people I said, hey, what we doing? What's going on? Hey, man, you hungry? You want to eat? Hey, man, you need anything? You good? I mean, most of the people that know me and that I care about, if we talk, I'm gonna ask you, hey, you cool? Or if I'm going to go get something, man, you want something to drink? You want something from the store? I feel like that's a love language in itself. You know what I mean? It's a way that you speak to people, in a way that you connect with people. If you can make sure that you're taking care of the next person just as well as you would take care of yourself, I think that goes a long way. And that is the core of you. So I don't know if you was going there or not, but I figured I'd just go ahead and put that out there.
But I gotta ask you there, Dub, what is next for you? Because I know you said that you have a new record that is actually dropping this summer. You know what I mean? That's going to be a scorcher, man. I already know that Dub Fuego is most definitely going to bring the heat on this one. But I got to ask you, man, other than that project, what is next for you? Is there anything else I missed? Anything else you still want to talk about or promote? Well, we still have you here live on the Canadian radio station airwaves.
Man, big up Canada one time, though, all the time. Thank you guys for the love, man. Yeah, man. So I'm working with a really dope group of friends of mine as well right now. Besides that, next live band project that I'll be working on and my own album, I'm also working with a brother of mine, Tito Valentino, on a project we're calling Bullet Train, and I'm working with my brother, that's messed up, Kenneth Morris. Sorry, bro. I'm working with my brother Kenneth Morris on a project called Link, and that's a real dancey, real cool, different type of hip-hop, R&B vibe. Also, AK Cisneros, big loving. So that's why I'm telling you it's about to be a big summer, man. Or it's going to be a big year in general. I have a good amount of projects. That's the beautiful part about 2020. It was such a great setup year. You know what I mean? Such a great setup year. I know it was hard for all of us. I'm not saying that. It wasn't. But it's such a good setup year, and I tried to make the best of it. So there's a lot of work I have coming out. AK Cisneros, me and him working on a project together as well. No name for that yet, but that's about to be something else. AK Cisneros, legendary AK here in San Diego, producer, musician. He's toured with the Wailers, the legendary Wailers, the original Wailers for the past 5 years or so. So it's good to have him back in town. He opened up a music school here in San Diego in Eastlake. And so, yeah, I'm excited for the work him and I are doing as well. And that's really, man, other than that, it's going down this year. I'm excited to see what's going on with y'all, man. I'm tapping in all the time, too. Canada, this man is really doing his work out here. Y'all got to really respect this guy. I respect you big time, DJ Moto. Believe that. And appreciative. San Diego love. When you get out here, we got you, right? I saw Speaker Box tell you on that live. Yeah, when you get out here, we're gonna take care of you. So.
Hey man, I'm most definitely trying to make my way out there, man. I actually Googled flights, bro, and I mean it's only like $369 for a round trip. Like I mean my mind blew up, man, because I was like, no fucking way, man, like $300. So I'm most definitely gonna try and make my way out there, man. Sooner or later, DJ Immortal most definitely needs to see some palm trees, because this Canadian weather, I'm getting sick of it, man. I need a week escape.
Yeah, bro, come holla at us, man. Holla at us, please. I'm telling you, before you get down here, hit us. I know you're going to hit Trey, because Trey Boogie got the link. Trey Boogie links all day. So, but yeah, please holla at us. Let us know when you come in. We're going to take real good care of you. And yeah, hopefully it's a good time when you can come out here and get to come to a few shows and see these San Diego artists down here at work, man. Like, my brother Rick Scales, my brother Nemi, you know what I mean? So many of us out here, man. Indian Cool, I mean, you know what I mean? So many of us. So many, Odessa Kane. I mean, there's some monsters out here. And I really, you're going to love it when you get here. I promise you that.
Oh, man, I'm going to be honest with you, man. My wife might have to put me in a burlap sack, man, and actually put me back on the airplane. Because once I get to California, I probably don't want to go back. But no, I got to ask you there, Dub, man. I got to ask you, man, like, so this is the time of the interview quickly, right before I actually wrap things up, that I give a chance for the individual that slides into the radio station airwaves. Just a chance to give shoutouts to whomever they want to give shoutouts to. But most of all, man, your social media handles. That way our listeners can follow you and stay updated. Everything Dub Fuego if they're not already doing so.
Yes. Come find me, Dub Fuego on IG, Dub Fuego 320, IG. You can also find me on Twitter. I'm out there living it. And Facebook as well. You can also look into my project. My cover band project is New Rules Collective. So if ever you're in San Diego looking for a live show, see some hip-hop, you could see some top 40, some reggae. I do a little bit of everything with the cover band. That's real. So shout out my cover band. Shout out Legacy Pack, of course, even though it's not Legacy Pack. 365 Click Music for show. Shout out my brother Plus. Shout out White Dre, Split It Done, my brother Light Bob, Hip Hop Karma, Cognac. He's a crazy engineer as well as an artist. If you're in San Diego, I suggest you book with him. If you're up in northern Dago, like Oceanside, anything above the 8 or past 8, man, and you can't get down here, Hip Hop Karma is Dungeon Studios. That's the man. Holla at him. That's the wizard. So shout out to all the people that's always. I know there's so many, man. Like I already shouted out a few of us, man. There's so many more. You know what I mean? I hate to miss anybody. Please don't be mad with me, y'all. My brother Dev Love, man. Another beast out here. If y'all ain't on him. I named a bunch of other people in here. J.A., Cognac, man. Busy Balboa holding it down. She's holding it down in San Diego. She does so much work. There's so many of us out here, man. Once you tap in, y'all go tap in with me, see who I'm supporting, man. The Spooky Gang, my brother Shan Black, my star Spooky himself, October 7 Octobers. I mean, so many people out here doing so much good work. The hip hop community is stronger than it's ever been here in Dago. And I know there's other cats who I haven't mentioned who are on and who are moving. But that's my circle, man. And there's so many more. Please don't. I feel bad if I left y'all out. Please, please. There's all love here, man. There's so many of us, man. So, yeah, man. We just out here getting it. Come see San Diego. You know, if you, like I said, you tap in on my social media, on my Instagram, go tap in with the other artists you see me tapping in with, man. There's a lot of monsters out there.
And I gotta say, Dub, thank you so much, man, for not just the love, man, but also just giving us a little bit of your time this evening and sliding into the 97.7 Outlaw Radio FM airwaves, brother. It was an honor and most definitely a privilege. And, man, anytime you need anything, don't hesitate to reach out, man. We can get you right back on the airwaves in a jiff.
Man, that's love. I might just have to come back on here to promote the record, man. So, man, big shout outs to you. Your radio station is doing this thing worldwide. Shout outs. Very, very honored and appreciative to be on this radio station with such a legendary guy, man. You're really doing an amazing thing, getting all these wonderful artists on your show, exposing so many different people to all these people that they've never seen and never been able to tap in with. You're just keeping us current, man. I appreciate that, man, for the culture, man. It's love.
Hey, man, I appreciate you as well, man. I appreciate the love, Dub. But I gotta say, man, thank you so much, man. And most definitely have yourself a wonderful night out there in San Diego, man. And most definitely, man, enjoy some of that sunshine for me.
Man, I'll soak it up as much as I can, my brother. I promise.
Hey, man, you already know. I appreciate that, man. Thank you so much, Dub, and most definitely have yourself a wonderful night.
Man, same to you. Good night, Canada. Good night, Ontario.